In this video, we're going to be looking at how to edit and run code you wrote in school when you get home. This is going to focus on using the web application Replit because it supports a wide range of languages, including Visual Basic, although depending on the language you're using, you can use any platform that supports that language. Now, if you have a PC or Mac, there's nothing to stop you searching for Visual Studio Community and installing the latest free version of Visual Studio. Your school account can be used to sign in once it's installed, and this should allow you to run any project you saved from Visual Studio in school. The big advantage of this is that once installed, running a project is very quick and you can use Visual Studio's excellent tools to debug your code. However, installing this is time consuming and uses a lot of disk space. Additionally, this won't work if you're using an iPad, Chromebook, Android tablet or any other non-Windows or non-Mac device. So with Replit, you'll need to log into an existing account or sign up if you don't have one. Use your school email address to create an account and a suitable password. The site will reject your email address if it sends a verification email and that email bounces back, so make sure you type it correctly and go to your email to verify your account. Otherwise, you won't be able to do anything once signed in. We've created a bunch of Replit templates which will avoid you going through the hassle of creating your own language project. You can only have up to 10 free projects in your account, so the best thing is not to store any actual code in Replit permanently at all, but to simply have a project for each language that you then paste code into to run. Clicking on one of our template links allows you to remix the template, give it a name and perhaps a description, and then click Use Framework at the bottom. Whilst it's creating your system, drag the vertical line to get rid of the AI agent. It's misuse to use this for school projects anyway. And then head up to the top right to open the File panel and click on the code file for the language, in this case main.vb, VB being for Visual Basic. You'll now have a console app and a code tab, and you can drag one of those tabs down into the main area to give them their own space. So here I've dragged console down to the right to have it sitting to the right of my code. If you haven't run your code before, you can press the big green button to run your code for the first time. Sometimes it will run your code instantly. Sometimes it will delay for up to a few minutes to try and encourage you to pay for a higher tier account. That's the cost of free accounts, I'm afraid, and one of the reasons installing Visual Studio, if you can, gives you a bit of an advantage. The little green play button at the top is the regular button to rerun your code, so let's change the code a little bit. Let's make a change to the output message and see if it runs the new version. There it is, quite quick that time. Now, having saved the code in Visual Studio at school, we need a quick, simple way to get our code into our web app like Replit. Luckily, our Visual Studio code in school is saved into your OneDrive. So all you need to do is to click the Apps button on the left of your Microsoft 365 homepage, open your OneDrive web app, and then click My Files on the left and hunt for your VirtualBox Files folder. Once there, enter the folder of the project you want to edit, then open the file that's got the .vb at the end of it, if it's a Visual Basic project, and a little text editor will pop up, allowing you to copy your code. Now, you only need to select the code within the main block, nothing else like this. Web apps usually don't need the extra console.read line at the end of the code either. Right-click and copy. Now, back in your project in Replit, replace any code in the main block with the code you just copied. You can then run the code and take screenshots for your OneNote of, say, testing your program, if that's what you need to do for homework. You might also need to edit your code. So here I'm just making a slight change to the final line of code so we can see some sort of difference. This obviously makes a difference when the code runs in Replit. So here you can see the new version running. But how do we get the code back into our real program from Visual Studio so we can see it next lesson in school? Well, all I need to do is to select and copy the new version of the code, return to the text file I copied in OneDrive, and paste the code I just copied. Now be sure in this text editor to press Ctrl S to save, or to click the save icon that pops up on the top left if you have anything to save. If there's no save icon visible, everything has been saved. Now the following lesson, imagine we're back in school and we have VirtualBox open with Visual Studio running. We open a solution, then browse to our project and open the SLN solution file to load the project. And sure enough, our new version of the code appears and can be run and edited further. So, using a web-based platform at home and Visual Studio in school, with OneDrive forming the link between the two, makes it really easy to finish off projects or record evidence outside class.